Hi, I want to see if maybe video journal might help me a little bit. Some of my thoughts in my head that are circling about. And one of the things I have realized as an atheist, okay, so myself is, let's start at the beginning when I was a Christian. You know, the Bible could be very detrimental to children, and we've went forward so far that our technology is able to detect when someone gets killed and who did what to whom. And I think that's fantastic. I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. But we've somehow gone backwards, and I think the reason has to do with our children and what they're being told about the devil. But the Bible is translated from many hundreds of years, and so same with the Quran. So the devil um, isn't actually mentioned in the Bible. There's entities like a snake and so much, but we also know that our ancestors used to hallucinate on different drugs that they would do. And so, with that being said, had they written down their hallucinations, it is a big possibility. To me, I don't see any real proof. Now, what I do see a lot in the Bible is some things that if a child is told, that it could be detrimental to their mental health, such as if you don't believe in him, you'll go to hell, and hell's where you're tortured, and you're burned alive. Telling that to a child can be very terrible for their mental health. And when I was a Christian, I was a busybody. I would go around trying to convince people because I didn't want to see them burn forever, because this is what I was told: love me or you'll go to hell. This type of um, brainwashing, if you will, is very terrible for society. And as it grows more and more Christian, I find that yes, while we still do have a separation of church and state, it's being splintered apart by too many right wingers on the in the judges circuit of appeals, and too many right wing judges just everywhere you go anymore, because let's face it, right wingers are the ones that vote, even though there is more leftists out there. I feel like the right wingers vote because they're so angry. They feel like we're they're brainwashed so much that they actually believe the shit they're spewing out of their mouth. They say things like we're trying to take away Christmas, and that's not even close to what we say when we say happy holidays to somebody. We're being inclusive to everybody. We're not excluding Jewish faith or Christian faith or Hindu faith or whatever other kind of faith you could be. There's hundreds of kind of faith out there, and who's to say? But if we have a splinter, though, and a real splinter, I'm not just talking about, books being removed, but the Constitution is already being stompled on. So why not just stomple on it some more, and we'll take away your freedom to read whatever you want, Well, you can't even go to Barnes and Nobles to get these things. Thank goodness there are still libraries out there promoting um, true stories. that break apart their imaginary fairy tale sky daddy. It's just it's just something they want to believe in. I think some of them find some solace in that, and you know, those people that have lost loved ones. But I find for myself, a belief in God is harder to move forward with that. How do you move forward? You keep thinking in the back of your mind that one day I'll see my Aunt Mary or my Uncle Sue or my uncle, um, whoever his name is, Uncle Sue. But thank goodness, libraries are still doing the Black History Month, and they're continuing with the LGBTQ plus. It's not about a certain agenda being pushed onto your children. It's about teaching children that Johnny can go to school and talk about his two moms or his two dads that he has with so much pride, and he loves his two moms, he loves his two dads. Why is he not allowed to talk to his classmates about them? I mean, it's just so stupid. His classmates are allowed to talk about the love that he has for his mom and dad who also have sex together. I mean, how dare Johnny want to have some of the same feelings that the other classmates have about their moms and dads? How dare he be proud of his two dads that he has? And so you just go, what are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Why does it matter that Johnny has two dads or two moms? Why does it matter? Trans people, some, just like every person out there, are weird and out there, and some of them might be child molesters, but that's the same way with everybody else. How many pastors molest children? You want to talk that route? Let's talk about your pastors who have raped little boys. Come on. And I hate to talk about this, I really do, but it has to come up. You talk about brainwashing, telling children about the hell that they will burn in if they don't believe in their sky daddy. Come on. That's that's the most damaging thing you could ever give a child or say to a child. And we keep pushing these ideals. And next thing you know, there is no separation of church and state, or very little, if that. And we've got your teacher teaching the truth of Jesus and the gospel in front of a whole classroom full of secular, Buddhist, and maybe they're not Christian. Maybe they don't believe the same thing they believe. So that is, I've heard the stories. Penridge School District. Thank goodness the Democrats came out in droves and voted. Um, I want to put those books back on the shelf. Stop. Let's stop burning books. Stop taking books away from kids because it mentions the word gay, or heaven forbid it mentions a trans person, because just like every person in the world, there's good and bad in everybody. My son is trans, and he is the most giving, most loving person you will ever meet. So you cannot, and I'm talking about libs of TikTok, in particular because they are very bad at misconstruing and what's the word I'm looking for? Misinformation about everything that they say. Oh, because you're trans or your kids are trans or they're on hormone replacement therapy, that makes you the bad mom. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make me a bad mom because I want what's best for my kid. Because I don't want them to suffer and I don't want him to suffer from a mental disorder that won't go away just with talk therapy alone. You have to look things up. You have to actually look into these things before you spout off lies like Libs of TikTok does. Trans people are not the enemies here. You are. You're the enemies because you're teaching kids that they cannot be who they are because being gay equals and being trans also equals pedophilia, and it doesn't. It's a lie. You're just doing it for attention. Hey, look at me. And you know what? It works. It's the one silver lining that Libs of TikTok has for themselves. It works. It works. It all freaking works. But you know what? I'm standing on real truth, not some biblical fortune that was written over 200 years ago, that was translated thousands of times, and there's just no proof that it even exists, that any of those stories are even real. I'm speaking for truth, science, technology, and I don't want to whitewash history either. Let's stop with that. History is not the boogeyman. It's not the man that comes out behind the curtains and says, boo, and tries to scare everyone. That's not what history is. It's not trying to scare you, it's trying to prevent you from repeating it and doing the same shit over and over again. Hitler is a big story that we need to listen to. We need to say the words that this happened. We fought World War II. And is partially, I understand World War II isn't all about Hitler, okay? There's more to the story. But we have to stop whitewashing history. We must. We must tell the kids at a young age, I would say 12 and over, that they can understand that this happened, that we had slaves, that Germany was trying to abolish to try to get rid of innocent people. Jewish people are people. Have we not learned anything from history? Apparently not. Michael Jackson's Black or White. Do we not even listen to these songs anymore? Apparently not. I mean, I really think it's time to start getting back to basics. And if that means libraries in your town have to promote Black lives, they have to promote LGBTQ lives to get you to just snap out of it. My God, Trump and your Bible is not the end all be all to every solution. And don't you dare use that I said my God, because that has been in my head all my life. It's just a way of me expressing myself. It doesn't mean that I believe in God. And so it's not a gotcha moment for you if you're listening to this video. So go fuck off. Yes, I said it. And I'm going to continue speaking what I believe is the truth, what I know to be the truth, because science tells us it's the truth. And I'll be damned if we go backwards. I'll keep fighting. That's why I voted. Because I want a better school. Penrod School District is the school my kids go to. I want to say one last thing. We can't let history repeat itself. We have to keep church and state separate. We have to. We cannot let it happen. Let's live our lives. Let's be happy. Let's take walks and start breathing and meeting with each other again. And let's just forget about COVID. That's the one and only thing I agree with the right wingers about. Okay, I'll admit that. But we still need to stop and smell the roses for a second. Our kids deserve so much better. Let's stop burning books. Let's stop looking at people in the LGBTQ plus as our enemies, because they're not our enemies. There are some that go on stage and dance half naked. Naked. And lives a TikTok seems to bring that up a lot. But do you know straight people do that too? They dance. Yeah. And they get paid. It's called sex work. And there's nothing wrong with it. So again, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's just stop with this crap. It's 2024 now. Yay. Let's start anew. We cannot keep on doing this. President Trump is not the good guy. Yeah, he made us laugh sometimes, but he's not a good guy because he makes you laugh. My uncle made me laugh. He wasn't a good guy. He did some really terrible things to my grandfather. So stop with this crap. Oh, he's so funny. He is funny. I'm not going to lie and say Donald Trump doesn't make people laugh. But he makes everybody laugh because he's an idiot. He's stupid. And he spells shit wrong all the time. He's worse than me. And that's saying a lot. So, stop worshiping Donald Trump. He's not the end all be all to our situations either. And neither is our current president. Yeah, the guy probably does have dementia. He is in that age. And so does Trump. So does Trump probably have dementia. We need younger people in office. Stop voting for old, white, shriveled up white people. We had Barack Obama. I didn't think he was the greatest, but he wasn't the worst either. He did some horrible shit. Let's look for people who aren't being bought off by big corporations too. Okay? Let's just start off by scratch. Find somebody young and doesn't have a terrible background. Do the background checks. Look what happened with the George whatever the fuck his name is, George Santos. Guys, you didn't do a good background check on George Santos now, did you? Republican, Democrat. Let's stop. Republicans and Democrats, both of us, let's stop. Let's get together. Let's stop the separation of church and state. Let's start looking at science and the real data that's out there that says if we don't treat humans like humans, they have mental illness problems. Okay? We have to stop doing this. Let people be who they are. As long as they're not hurting you or me or anybody else, let guys be guys. Let girls be girls. Let people be who they are. They're not always going to be who you want them to be. We're different, but we're also the same. So remember that. Remember that. And that's all. That's all I have to say. Don't misconstrue my words also. Because people tend to do that a lot. I love anybody who's listening to this video. I appreciate your time and any efforts, even if you disagree with me. I appreciate you. Thanks.